welcome back to my channel. So today's video, somebody called me out in the comments. I'm not really sure who it was, but they said, where's your Apple Watch review? You unboxed it, but where's the review? Here it is, ladies and gents. I'm going to give you the review on my Apple Watch 44 millimeter Apple 4 watch, something like that. I'm going to give you my full review. Is it worth your money? Should I recommend it to you? Is this something that I like? Is this a product I back? So, let's get right on into the video. First off, let me start by saying Apple products are pretty pricey. I was into Samsung for a long time, and I'm sorry if this is like too chatty. I'll try to put time cards where I start doing my whole review. I went with Samsung products for a while. I was really into my Note. I was really into my Galaxy. I think it was the Galaxy S5 that I had, and I also had a 7 and an 8, and I really loved them. But what my problem would be, over time, we would start lagging. We would start dragging and opening up apps and stuff like that. It just wouldn't be so responsive. So my sister has always been the type, if she gets an iPhone or something like that, I'll let her test it out for a little bit, and then I'll get one. So I've always been in love with my iPads and my iPods. I've loved them since day one, and I knew from that kind of how the Apple products worked, but I had a really bad mess up with an Apple iPhone 5C. It was terrible. One of the lowest quality Apple products I've ever had, but also look at the price of it. It was $99. So I think that could have had a lot to do with it. Anyway, fast forwarding a little bit, I just started to get really into Apple products. One being my iPod. I purchased a brand new iPod, really loved it, used it for a lot of things. Then I got an iPad, and I really liked it. My sister got a MacBook, and it was just so responsive, so quick. She could download all of her school stuff on it. And so I ended up getting one, and I love my MacBook. So then I was like, well, I'm getting an iPhone because I've already got a MacBook. I can connect it, iCloud, it'll all be the same. So I got my phone. Then I bought a brand new 12.9 inch iPad. So I really like that new iPad because the one I had before I've had since it first came out, and it was the second generation one. And so, lo and behold, after all of that, I was like, I had a Fitbit at the time. My mom wanted an upgrade from her Fitbit that she had, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to get an Apple Watch, and I'll give my mom my Fitbit. So that's what I did. And you guys saw that video. I will link it in the cards for you guys. But I ended up purchasing this watch. It was kind of expensive, but honestly, it was a good purchase. So let's get into the full review. First, I want to talk about the outside of it and the bands. So my sister purchased some covers for hers. Sorry, I'm going to try to turn it off. My sister purchased... There's me and my mom's dog. So my sister purchased some covers for it, and this is just a clear one. I will say it holds some moisture, so I take it off once a week and clean it, but this is just a clear one. And I do recommend either getting a screen protector for it or a cover, because you're going to scratch it, and this is going to fall, and I would be devastated if something bad happened to my watch, because I use this every single day. I don't go a day without it. Also, I want to talk about the bands. I have a fat wrist. I'm a fairly large woman, and I've got some fat, I've been working on my Nova, so sorry about that. But I'm a fairly large woman, so I've got a little cushion, and I needed something that wasn't going to restrict. The band that I had before, I loved, but I found that it was wearing out quite fast. So my sister got the one with cellular, and it came with a band kind of like this. That's got the Velcro on it, and you can Velcro. I love that band. So I decided to go, I think I found it on Facebook. It took forever to ship. So I recommend doing something with PayPal. That way you can get your money back if it doesn't ship. And I ended up getting this band. I love it. It works really well on my wrist. I can just fold it over like this. It wears really well. Flexibility is really nice. The band, definitely invest in a good band that fits you. They make all different kinds. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be the battery life. A little bit of the internal prospect of it. So this battery, to me, I use it every day and I use it a lot. It lasts for me about 2 or 3 days. I know some people who plug theirs up every single night before they go to bed, but I like mine to read my sleep most nights because I do have trouble sleeping. I have really bad insomnia, just because my head never shuts off from anxiety and stuff like that. I constantly have something to think about. So I do like it to monitor my sleep, how long I sleep, if I'm in REM sleep, stuff like that. I do like to keep an eye on it. And I also like to keep an eye on like my respirations and stuff like that, because to me that's important. So as far as that goes, where I do use it so much, it does last for about 2 or 3 days, which is kind of typical. It's kind of bad if you think about it, but again, it's kind of like a phone. You just got to charge it whenever, you know. It's not a big deal to me, but that would kind of be a deal breaker for some people. Next thing I want to talk about is what I'm able to do on my Apple Watch that makes it so convenient and easier than a Fitbit. So on my Fitbit, it had automatic replies on it, and I think Fitbit was working on something to where you could reply whatever you wanted to in like a text message or a Facebook message, anything like that. So I think they were kind of working on it, but it never got to that point with me to where I was able to be like, hey, I'm running late, or, you know, can you call me when you get a chance? Something like that. I'm able to go ahead and either talk to my watch or swipe in text with my watch to be able to respond to somebody. I think that's an amazing feature. I really like that about the Apple Watch, and I like that you're able to reply anything you want to. Another thing that I want to talk about that's kind of cool is that it's got a water feature to where if you think you've got a little bit of moisture, I kind of hate that word. If you've got a little bit of water or something inside of the speakers, it'll like bounce out of it. So it's kind of cool to like vibrate and try to get the water out. I think that's amazing. That's a really nice feature that the Apple Watch has that a Fitbit does not have. So I think that would be kind of where a lot of things are. If you wash your hands a lot or anything like that, definitely that feature will really help with the Apple Watch. Another thing that I really, really like about the Apple Watch that the Fitbit didn't offer for me was talking to people straight from my watch. Now, this is going to be something that I'm going to go ahead and tell you is very just not necessary, but it's nice to have. When I get a phone call, like if I'm walking in my car or something like that, and I've got my hands full, and I've got enough time just to hit the answer button, I can talk to whoever's calling me as long as my phone's in range, because I don't have cellular on mine. But as long as my phone's in range, I can talk to whoever I want to right from my watch, and they can hear me just fine. So I think that's a really fine feature that the Apple Watch offers that, once again, the Fitbit does not offer. So if you guys are into like just super convenience, super like easy to use things, the Apple Watch is probably honestly the way to go. I would definitely recommend it for people who are always on the go, need something quick and easy to reply or what have you. Apple Watch will do it for you. Another thing that I like about my Apple Watch, and the Fitbit does have this option, but I didn't feel like it worked as well as the one on my watch, would be the alarm clocks. If you set an alarm on your phone, you can set it to sound on your Apple Watch as well and vibrate. So it'll wake you up if you have an alarm set on your phone and you can't quite hear it, it'll vibrate on your wrist, which is really nice because it's woke me up several times. Okay, as weird as it sounds, there's a walkie-talkie app on here, and I'm pressing it down a little bit. I think this is neat. I've got it turned off right now because me and my sister don't really talk on it on the weekends. But it's so cool to be able to walkie-talkie somebody without having an actual walkie-talkie. I think it's neat. Me and Emily do it all the time whenever she's at work and I'm at work. We'll just kind of be like, Mermaid Man to Barnacle Boy to Mermaid Man. So I think that is a really good tool to use whenever you're on your watch. I think it's something simple and something just so little that makes using the Apple Watch really fun. Another thing that I think is really cool is you can actually download apps from your phone onto your Apple Watch. So what I use a lot is Weather app. I couldn't do that with my Fitbit. I look into the weather so much because I ride a motorcycle, I have a show car, stuff like that. So I think the weather is really important to me. So I always keep an eye on it with my watch as well as my phone. And I get alerts straight to my watch. Let's say if there's a thunderstorm coming or if there's lightning 7 miles away, I know because an alert comes to my Apple Watch. I think that's really cool. So you can set up all different kinds of alerts straight to your watch. Without the inconvenience of having to swipe through your phone. I think that's a really good touch that Apple Watch has made. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is Apple Watch is going to be fitness. So I don't look like much of a fitness person, but I do like to kind of keep up with my steps. And I do like to know how much I walk in a day. I have a sit-down job at work, so it's important to me to try to get as many steps as I can in a day when I get off work. So a lot of times I'll look at my watch, and if I'm close to a certain 1,000, I will go ahead and I'll walk around my office until I hit that goal. And I think that's really important with the Apple Watch, is that it also sends you alerts, so does the Fitbit, to get up and move. And I think that's awesome. So this is also a really good option to use whenever you're tracking fitness, which everyone knows about that aspect of the Apple Watch. A lot of people use it for that. You can also listen to music and everything straight from your watch, and I think that is really cool. So, you guys, after all of this, you would probably think that I was sponsored from Apple to give you this review. I'm really not. I think Apple Watches are so worth it. I think they're very convenient. I think that the fit of it is really nice, and the size of this one, the 44 millimeter in particular, is just really nice and sits flush on my wrist, and I don't have any problems out of it. So as far as sleeping with it comfortably, I don't have the uncomfortable ring that I had around whenever I was wearing my Fitbit from the lasers pointing. I don't know, that was such a weird concept for me. I kept getting a rash and it was really weird to me. But I do really like my Apple Watch. I would 100 times over buy it again. And, you know, if you guys are interested, I think there's a newer one coming out. Or it just came out. If it did, I'll link it down below. But I'm pretty sure it'll be the same concept as this. And I actually recommend this to anybody who has an iPhone that wants a watch to go with it for fitness, sleep, steps, time. It does really good at time. I really like that it's got the time display on it. And also, one more fact about the Apple Watch is you can create your own background for it. You saw mine. You can pretty much have this look whatever you want it to look like. I think that is awesome. So that is the end of my review. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like this video, comment down below if you have an Apple Watch, if you like it, if you hate it, if you want me to do another video review, or if you want me to review anything else, let me know. Please down in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel, hit that post notification bell, that way you get notified every time I upload a new video. And until next time, stay cool and be you.